It's deja vu for the Prowlers and the Motor City Rockers as they meet at Big Boy Arena and then on Saturday, McMorran Place for the second straight week. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight as the Prowlers and the Motor City Rockers get set for their second straight weekend of action. 4 games in a row between these two teams. Prowlers took the first 2 last weekend. They'll look for a similar result here in Fraser on a Thursday night. We'll have the pregame show coming up for you in just a minute. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here at Big Boy Arena, Will Wiggleman, and I bring in Joe Noonan with me to join me for the pregame, postgame, and between periods as we get set for tonight's action between the Prowlers and the Motor City Rockers. And Joe, last weekend, a good one for the Prowlers, sweeping the Rockers and really gaining some ground over and separating themselves just a bit from their in-state rivals.
Yep. Like we talked about last weekend, it's a big rivalry for us because we play this team more than anybody else in the league, and if we do well against this team, we're probably going to be looking pretty good in the standings.
Well, let's take a look back at that last game. The Prowlers fell behind 2-0 early in that second period, but Evan Foley helped spark the comeback. He scored twice in that middle frame and then assisted on the next 2 goals. Sam Merritt and Larry Vartiainen, the other 2 goal scorers. Prowlers had a 4-3 lead at the end of the second period as Scott Koash got his second of the game for Motor City. And that brought the Rockers within 1 as we enter the third period of play, but that's as close as Motor City got as Chris Paulin, making his first start back in a Port Huron Prowlers uniform, picked up the win with a 28 save performance. Evan Foley was the first star, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, and Scott Koash for the Rockers, 2 goals and an assist for him. And again, we talked about it last week. Both of the games between these two teams last week were very low penalty-wise. You know, not a lot of penalties, low event in that sort of way.
That's right. In hockey, familiarity oftentimes will breed some animosity, and especially in a league like this where it's top to bottom, your lineup won't be as skilled as the NHL top to bottom, and got a few guys that can scrap on both sides and are often willing and eager to do so, especially when you know the opponent as well as these two teams know each other. But last weekend, pretty tame for the most part. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more of the rough stuff this weekend.
So you see these stats there on Evan Foley from that game last Saturday. 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, factoring in on all 4 Prowlers goals in the victory. But let's take a look at the Continental Division standings now, see what that victory means for the Prowlers. They still are sitting there in second place in the division, 18, 11, and 3, 56 points. And of course that win percentage column is important to look at, as that is a tiebreaker and a decent indicator for how close teams really are, like the Carolina Thunderbirds, because the Prowlers have played significantly more games than most of the teams in this league. So you see Carolina 5 points back, but really they're a little bit closer than that because they do have those games at hand.
It's true. The Prowlers started out with the Rockers for a 3-game set right to begin the season this year, a week before everybody else started, and you see in the standings there that even though we're at 56 points, the Thunderbirds actually have a better winning percentage. They did do us a favor this past weekend, though, with their sweep in Columbus.
And Prowlers just sitting 12 points behind the River Dragons, and the Prowlers will be in Columbus next weekend. The Carolina Thunderbirds are in Columbus this weekend as the Dragons head home and search for some answers after getting blown out twice by Carolina. But that game isn't, those games aren't tonight. This is the only game in the FPHL tonight, and I feel like we've been saying that a lot this season, which has contributed to the Prowlers being so far ahead of everyone else in the games played department. You know, you had that Monday, Wednesday, post-Christmas series in Elmira that no one else was playing those days. Of course, the two games in Baton Rouge, you really didn't have anyone else playing in the FPHL, so that really got the Prowlers far ahead as far as the games played department goes. But at least for Port Huron for the rest of the year, it's going to be a slower schedule and a lot more consistent the rest of the way.
We're looking forward to that in the locker room, I can tell you that. Looking forward to being at home quite a bit. A consistent practice schedule will help us out, maybe help get some guys back from injury. We got the kitchen sink thrown at us, got put through the test over the Christmas break, a little bit before, a little bit after, especially going down to Louisiana and then out to New York and then back, and we're looking forward to being home for a while.
We do have some reinforcements, not just in a player returning from injury, we'll get to that later, but also someone returning from injury who was a Prowler last year, and he'll make his season debut. Zach Friscura playing in his first game this year. He's injured up to this point, 27 points in 37 games with the Prowlers last season as a rookie out of the Detroit Fighting Irish in the USPHL, and he should bring a bit of a boost as well to this lineup.
Absolutely. With Freshie, you're getting a good skater, good speed, good shot, and a playmaker. Anytime he's on the ice, he has the potential to carry the play and make something happen.
And he's going to be back wearing his familiar number 14 that Prowlers fans saw him in last season. We'll see where he slots into the lineup, but we also want to make mention of Joe Devaney returning to the lineup. He was injured in that last game in Baton Rouge back on January the 2nd. He's back with his regular line with Evan Foley and Larry Vartiainen. And those top two dangerous lines for the Prowlers are now back together in full strength.
And what that does also is it slots everybody down a peg. So Sam Gagnon, who is doing a really great job on the second line, first filling in for Foley and then for Devs, he gets moved down. You get him and Freshie as the 10th and 11th forwards for this game. That's a really strong group.
Still 5 defensemen, though, for the Prowlers, as Adam Hainsel is not ready to go tonight. He was injured the last time these two teams were in this building, did not play last Saturday, and he will also not play tonight. There is certainly a possibility that Austin Federley will slide back to defense at some point in this game if the Prowlers need to rest some bodies on the back end, but it is the same starting lineup as last game, save for the goaltender. Wyatt Hofflin is between the pipes for the Prowlers tonight. That Graham line is starting, as well as Dustin Henning and Alex Johnson. Henning playing in his 350th career FPHL game. And from what I'm told, if he continues to play every single game this year, he will hit 500 professional games played in his pro career. A guy who's been around a long time. He does a lot of things that you don't typically see on the score sheet, especially in this league with block shots and things like that. Dustin Henning celebrating a milestone tonight. We'll take you down to ice level for the national anthem. So we get set for puck drop here from Big Boy Arena. And we asked Joe Noonan for just one more piece of analysis before he heads out and helps me out with moving the camera during play. He'll be back between periods, but we'll take a look at the goaltending matchup. Wyatt Hofflin and Trevor Babin is back in net. He missed last weekend's games with a concussion, but he is all set to go tonight. Should be a good goaltending matchup between these two guys.
Yep, Hoff has been getting a lot of starts for us and doing pretty well, and Babin on any given night can steal a game in this league, and he's a pretty athletic goalie, obviously an intense guy out there. As long as his emotions don't get the best of him, he can turn in an outstanding game anytime he steps on the ice.
So Hofflin and Babin, your starting goaltending matchup tonight. Both teams getting set for puck drop. We showed you the starters for the Port Huron Prowlers. Let's real quick take a look at the starting lineup for the Motor City Rockers before we get set to go. Besides Babin, on defense is going to be Josh Colton and Nick McGill-Diaz. And up front, Roman Gaudette, Brad Reiter, and Derek Makama back in the lineup. He was suspended both games last weekend between these two teams, and we're underway. Makama gets the first shot of the game on net, and Hofflin makes the save. Rimmed all the way around towards Freeborn. And pops back out to center to McGill-Diaz. Roman Gaudette on a 4-game point drought. Didn't see too much of him last weekend, especially in last Saturday's game. Only got a couple of shifts. He heads off to the bench. Meanwhile, the Prowlers look to take the play the other way. Alex Johnson with his first attempt on Babin. Easily steered aside. Johnson in there himself on the forecheck. Graham digs it out of the pile, put it towards the middle of the ice. Colton blocked it away from Johnson. And a second chance opportunity from Jonathan Giuliano, able to get it back to Prowler ice. Sent all the way down, but just hit Babin's stick. So no icing against the Prowlers. They'll get a change in just over a minute into period one. Perks dumps it in. Hofflin there to play it back over to the far side. Frank Schumacher working it up to Vartiainen. He couldn't get it out as White lifts a shot on net, and Hofflin with an easy early save. No score yet, just a minute and 20 seconds into period number one here at Big Boy Arena. Conway right off the draw, just pushed it wide. Prowlers looking to come out. It's Devaney. Couldn't get through Suffredini. Joe Devaney, as we mentioned in the pregame show, back in the lineup for the Prowlers after missing the previous 4 games. White off the boards and out. Puck rolling back to Prowler territory. Gino Minion at first, keeping it away from Scott Koash. Suffredini steps up at the red line. Here's Conway. Got the shot off. Good kick save from Hofflin, and hops over White's stick at the point. That allows the Prowlers to make a 5-man change. Ian White quickly up ice off of Inger's stick. Connor Inger made his Rockers debut last Saturday. No points for him in that game, however. Here's Dante Suffredini. Scored a power play goal in the game on Saturday. That was the opening goal of the game, and it snapped a 7-game point drought for Suffredini. Here's Sam Williams pushing it all the way through the middle of the ice. Puck pops out to center. Here's Everett Thompson to the net. Good save by Hofflin, just trying to cover that post. Now Williams again up ice. He'll get it deep into Rockers territory and head off for a change. We're approaching 3 minutes into the opening period, as it's sent all the way down. Icing called against the Rockers as Dustin Henning gets back to touch up. If you missed our pregame show, Henning playing in his 350th FPHL game. Of course, not the only pro league Dustin Henning has graced with his presence over his long career. Tim Perks and Matt Graham getting set for the face-off. Graham wins it back cleanly. Schumacher, a quick drive. And that one eaten up and held onto by Babin. Just the second shot of the game for the Prowlers. But they'll get another offensive zone face-off, and this time Brad Reiter slides in against Graham. Vaughn Clouston rims it all the way around. Hops past Graham behind the net. Rockers just able to backhand it to center. Henning in his own end. Now, puck was in the linesman's skates. Prowlers able to dig it out. Dalton J had his attempt towards the net blocked by Colton. Now comes over to Makima on the boards. Back to Colton behind the cage. Forward checked by Freeborn. Makima ends up with the puck. Gives right back to Josh Colton. Prowlers cause a turnover. Minnie at the point. Just put it towards the net. That one won't go down as a shot on goal as the Rockers have it back. Minnie. D to Alex Johnson. Off the boards to Foley, fresh off the bench. Here's Foley, stops up. Pushed it down low where Freeborn was heading. Minnie just able to keep it in at the line. Foley scooped up the puck on the near side boards. Now it's wristed on goal by Freeborn. And ends up just going to the far side corner. Johnson just kept it in. McGill Diaz hops up to glove it down, and then Alex Johnson does the same at center. Here's Johnson looking for Devaney. The puck was in his skates. So it's taken away by Giuliano. He lofts it in. Perks first eye tried to feed it out to the slot. He had a man breaking there. That was Tommy Cardinal. But a good stick lip there by a back-checking Prowler. Here's Johnson. Up to Devaney. Tried to feed it all the way across. Cardinal got a piece of it and puck back out to center. Devaney takes it out of the pile. Squirts over to the far side boards. Suffredini drops it back to Declan Conway. Past 5 minutes into period number 1. No score yet. Shots on goal 4-2 in favor of the Motor City Rockers. Koash backhands it in. Sam Williams gets it out. Chartrand chasing after it. Chartrand drops it off. Here's Gagnon with a shot. Saved by Babin. The rebound lay there. And Ian White able to get there first. And it whistles blow. Not sure why. Maybe the net came off behind Babin. I guess we'll find out as we'll take a timeout on the ice, but we will keep you right here. Take a look back at last weekend. The two guys who led the offense for their teams, Evan Foley and Scott Koash. Of course, two goals, 2 assists for Foley in Saturday's win. He also added 2 assists in the victory last Friday, January 13th, against the Motor City Rockers, while Koash, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, had either led or tied for the team lead in that series. Of course, we mentioned Foley in the pregame show. We mentioned he factored in on all 4 of the Port Huron Prowlers goals in that victory last Saturday night. As the Rockers have lost 5 straight games, Prowlers are on a 3-game winning streak and looking to continue to bury their rivals in the Continental Division standings. Team's getting set for a face-off to Trevor Babin's right. Sam Merritt will line up for the face-off for the Prowlers. Look like Scott Koash, his opposite for the Rockers. 14:30 to go, first period. It's Merritt, Gagnon, and Chartrand. Currently the forward line for the Prowlers. Of course, Austin Federley will likely rotate in there at some point, as well as Zach Frescura. We'll let you know when he gets his first shift of the season. Koash drops it off. Gagnon kept it away from Conway, but gave it away to Clouston in the slot. Von Clouston tried to feed it to the slot. That was blocked away by a Prowler stick. Inger takes the puck back. Connor Inger with a quick shot. Good save by Hofflin. And now the net off behind Wyatt Hofflin. Peg's just not doing their job, and Joe Noonan is not happy about it, standing next to me. You know, he has a lot of opinions about the Pegs being a goaltender himself. As they'll get that net fixed, and the Graham line will head out for the Prowlers. Perks line for the Motor City Rockers. That includes Elias Thompson on his right and Everett Thompson on his left, no relation. Schumacher up to Freeborn. Now Graham looking for Jay, just out of his reach, and Babin will cover up that puck. So at the very least, an offensive zone faceoff for the Prowlers, but just a missed pass there at center on the breakout. Looking for Dalton Jay. He could have gone in one-on-one into the zone. 13:55 to go, opening period. As Perks and Graham get set for the faceoff. It's one back. Schumacher reaches for it and just dumps it deep. Freeborn first to scoop it up. Back to the point, Schumacher. Body's in front. He puts it there. Is deflected high over top of the cage. Henning kept it in momentarily. Now it comes out to center. Here's Henning with it again. Graham couldn't poke it deeper. Now Freeborn trying to get it through Thompson. Everett Thompson, though, with a strong play to get it out to center. Graham in his own end. Goes across to Frank Schumacher. He'll wrist it in from the red line. Cross corner dump. 13:10 to go in the first period. Freeborn in there battling on the near side boards. Feeds it down low to Jay. In front, Graham. That one wouldn't go. And now Jay kicking it up. Freeborn and Graham in there on the forecheck, but the Rockers able to get it out. Gaudette all the way over to Makima. His long shot caught the glass. Vartiainen backhands it in Jay's direction. Dalton Jay heading off for a change. As Colton goes D-to-D to McGill Diaz. Nick McGill Diaz had that puck pop up into the air. Devaney trying to push it through. He does. A good diving play by McGill Diaz. Take that puck off his stick. Hofflin pushes it away from Makima. Actually put it right into him. Puck ended up in the corner. Colton at the point. Just does keep it in. Devaney on the boards. Over to Vartiainen. Larry into the zone. Drops it to Alex Johnson. Had his pass impeded. Foley just backhands it deep. Here's McGill Diaz. Off the glass and out. Got past Sam Williams at center. Hofflin will play it. Gave it away and they score. Tommy Cardinal took that clearing pass right away from Wyatt Hofflin. And it's a 1-0 lead for the Motor City Rockers with 11:45 to go in the opening period. Hofflin really wanted to jumpstart a rush as the Prowlers were trying to catch the Rockers in a change, but unfortunately gave it right to Tommy Cardinal, and Cardinal made no mistake. We do have Zach Frescura stepping out there for his first shift of the night. Over there on the left wing. Here's Sufferdini giving it up. Fed down low all the way around to Perks. Up top, White. Now Sufferdini walks in, shoots, deflected off his own man in front. That was Cardinal. Now Perks down low, backhand towards Cardinal, and Hofflin got it with the paddle. Sam Williams also there helping out Wyatt Hofflin, keeping Tommy Cardinal from getting a good opportunity on what was an empty net after a good pass from Perks. White in deep on the forecheck. Minnie able to pull it out. Here's Frescura. Up to Chartrand. Dan Chartrand into zone, shoots, kick save by Babin. Frescura has the rebound and he'll pound it deep. Ferskira down towards Chartrand. Around here's Graham looking for Ferskira in the slot that was cut off by Perks. Now Henning able just to poke it away from Perks. Schumacher backing him up. Here's Frank Schumacher one-on-one with Colton. Schumacher with an outside shot saved by Babin. The rebound cleared away by Josh Colton. 10:22 to go, opening period. It's the Rockers with a 1-0 lead. Inger looking for more toe drag, and he just lifted it over the crossbar. Puck pops out to the slot. Henning trying to one-hand it out of the zone. He's able to get it there. Now Freeborn picks off a pass at center. Gives it to Jay. His shot partially impeded by a Rocker stick. Now Klauston moving up the other way. Comes back to Koash. Off the boards to Conway. He shoots, gloved and held by Hofflin. And we will take a timeout. 9:48 to go, opening period. And Tommy Cardinal has the Rockers up 1-0. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
.9:48 to go, first period. And the Prowlers trailing the Motor City Rockers 1-0. Shots on goal in the early going, 9-5, also in favor of the Rockers. An offensive zone faceoff coming for Motor City after Wyatt Hofflin gloved down a shot from Declan Conway just before the TV timeout. Conway leading his team in plus-minus at a +16 this season on a team that certainly has plenty of minuses as you look down their roster. So it looks like they're trying to figure out something with the door. Just getting some extra snow off the ice. Putting the linesmen to work over there with the shovel to get some of that extra snow off the ice. And now we are all set to go for the face-off. Once again, this is the only game in the FPHL tonight, so we thank you so much for tuning in on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel, getting your FPHL fix if you're not a Prowlers fan. Foley had it kick off him back into the zone. Hofflin leaves it for Austin Federley behind the net. Johnson up to Vartiainen, flips it high and out. Suffredini with the glove, and now moves it over to Gaudette, gets it right back behind the net. 9:15 to go, first period. Suffredini waits for the breakout to develop. Comes all the way over to Gaudette, poked away from him by Johnson. Now it's Johnson settling down that bouncing puck. Johnson up to Vartiainen. Now Joe Devaney, 3 Rockers on him. It's poked off his stick. Suffredini curls away from Merritt. Merritt trying to lift Suffredini's stick, couldn't do it. It's wristed in from center by Elias Thompson. And Hofflin will hang on for a whistle. 8:42 to go, first period. Prowlers still in that 1-0 hole. And they have to defend and draw in their own end as Sam Merritt lines up for the faceoff with Everett Thompson. Minnie gives it to Chartrand all the way over to Williams. Now Merritt into the zone. Outside shot, blockered away by Babin. Here's White below the goal line. That one missed its intended target, goes all the way down. Icing called against the Rockers with 8:17 left in the first period. Not much going on net for the Prowlers so far in this game, and everything that has been going on net has really been from the outside. So Prowlers will need to get some more dangerous chances. I know Joe Noonan talked about that last weekend. Once the Prowlers did get the more dangerous chances, they were able to score some goals. But Trevor Babin, of course, a very tough goaltender, especially against the Prowlers this season. So we'll see if Port Huron can really challenge him tonight. Klauston feeds it to the middle of the ice. Inger 3-on-2 if they hurry. Conway just couldn't get a shot on net. So he was disrupted by Schumacher. Chartrand kicks it out to center. On his way with Graham. Back to Chartrand in the slot. Gets a good shot off. And Babin had the answer. Lifted towards the net. Gagnon collects in the corner. Out towards Graham. That was cut off. Inger back at center. Gets the red line. Feeds it over looking for Koash. Just out of his reach. Now Schumacher in the zone. Takes a hit from Conway. Graham back the other way, looking for Jay. He has him, but Dalton Jay didn't handle that pass cleanly. So offside is the call against the Prowlers with 7:05 to go in the opening period. Rockers switching things up with the forward unit. Tim Perks out there to draw against Matt Graham. Here's Colton. Over to McGill Diaz. Deflected in by Cardinal. Giuliano chasing after it. Johnson couldn't keep it away from him. Now Giuliano up the near side. McGill Diaz puts it back deep. Now Federley racing up ice. Had a couple of goals last time these teams were in this building. Babin had to corral a bouncing puck. It just took a hop right in front of him. That was a lot tougher than it looked. Here's Perks. 4 Prowlers back as Perks with a backhander. Missed everything. Gaudette comes down the boards to take it. Hoffland plays it away from Gaudette. Jay couldn't tap it out. So here's Federley chasing after it. Hard off the glass, comes back over to the near side. 6 minutes to go, opening period. As Suffredini gives to Makima, he dumps it in. Williams steps out, avoids a hit from Makima. Prowler's the other way, but it's taken off of Devaney's stick. Now Makima looking for a breakaway. Great defensive play from Sam Williams, but they're going to say he did it illegally. A hooking penalty coming up against the Prowlers defenseman Sam Williams. So the PK comes out for Port Huron for the first time tonight with 5:43 to go in the opening period. Prowlers penalty kill 9th in the FPHL at 78.6%, while the Rockers power play is 2nd at 23.8% this season. Merritt couldn't tap it by White. White goes down low to Conway. All the way up top, White thought about the shot, now gives it to Koash. He puts it on and a good save from Hoffland. Shouldered that one away. Pressure still on as Inger gives it over to Conway. Suffredini up top to Conway. Puts it down low. It's a sharp angle shot from Inger. Shouldered out of play by Wyatt Hoffland. 5:10 to go, opening period, minute 28 left on the minor penalty to Sam Williams. And it looks like an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty is coming to Gino Mini. So the Prowlers will be down 2 men. Actually, it looks like this is just a misconduct against Gino Mini. So on-ice manpower is unaffected. So So just a regular misconduct, or probably a 10-minute misconduct. We'll let you know. Right now they're listing it as a 2-minute unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Motor City Rockers. So now 2 minutes up on the board for Gino Mini, but there are still 4 Prowlers out there, and the referees dropped the puck with 4 Prowlers out there, so that must mean that this penalty will not affect on-ice manpower. Ryder around the net. Brad Ryder cycles it deep to Gaudette. Up top, Colton, wrist shot off the post, he scores. I thought that puck just went off the post, but it went off the post and in. And Josh Colton has given the Motor City Rockers a 2-0 lead. So Josh Colton's 6th goal of the year snaps a 4-game point drought. The Torrance, California native. Makes it 2-0, still in this first period. Although the Prowlers did come back from a 2-0 lead in their last game against the Motor City Rockers. We'll see if they can do it again. Looks like Alex Johnson just getting some extra explanation on the mini penalty, I assume. As Johnson feeds it up towards Foley, who deflects it in. Colton behind his own cage. Fed it up to the near side boards. Perks gave it right back to Josh Colton. Comes over to Perks. Off the boards on the near side to Giuliano. His pass disrupted by Devaney coming back. Here's Federley, saucing it over to the far side, Johnson. His headman feed was deflected. Foley in there on the puck first. Colton in to disrupt. Klauston able to push it past Devaney. So here's Conway up towards Giuliano. Joffin Giuliano rims it around. Conway all the way in front. Hoffman was out of his crease. Luckily the Prowlers prevented a shot on net. Foley towards Devaney, couldn't complete that pass cleanly. Frank Schumacher over to Freeborn. Prowlers in the midst of a change as Freeborn almost gave it away in the zone. He's able to get out to center. It's quickly dumped back in by Nick McGill-Diaz. Under 3.5 to play, opening period. It's a 2-0 lead for the Motor City Rockers. And now a turnover in the Prowlers zone. Koash put it on. Hofflin the save. The rebound pops out to the corner. Hofflin pokes it back to the corner, away from Inger. Now Conway up top. McGill-Diaz wrists it wide. Popped all the way back out to the slot. Jay sends Freeborn on his way. Liam Freeborn looking back towards Dalton Jay. And the puck's there, but it's in the crease. And no goal. And now Koash going straight after Liam Freeborn. Best chance for the Prowlers so far in this game. Trevor Babin able to keep that puck in the crease as the net came off its moorings. 2:52 to go in the opening period. Prowlers trail by a pair. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal.
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
Every save.
Going the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hofflin. The rebound. Another one.
Every hit.
Good hip check.
Every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cut back, heading with another good shot, and then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Marciano, the one-timer, he scores!
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
Back here at Big Boy Arena, 2:52 to go in the opening period, and the Prowlers trail the Motor City Rockers 2-0 now. Tommy Cardinal and Josh Colton with the goals for these two teams. For the Rockers so far tonight. You did see just before that TV timeout, Liam Freeborn went crashing into the net on the rush. Koash went after him. Nothing more came of that. Face-off will be deep in Rockers territory. Bit of a mixed group out there for the Prowlers as Sam Merritt centering Freeborn and Jay. So it looks like the Prowlers just rotating the centers through just a little bit. Prowlers are 12-7-1 this year when allowing the first goal of the game. So certainly a position they're comfortable in. Although they don't want to keep it that way for too long. As Freeborn held up against the wall by Makima. Puck underneath Liam Freeborn. He's back to his feet and squirts all the way to the near side. Federley forced back to center. Merritt backhands it in. Suffredini back this way to Everett Thompson. Schumacher gets it in. White trying to put it right back out. Both teams making changes. Comes up to Everett Thompson. Wrists it in. Hoffland stops it behind his own cage. Here's Frescura. Zach Frescura with Graham and Chartrand on the rush. Taken away by Clouston. Puck stayed in momentarily. Schumacher still battling for it. And now Schumacher has it in the middle. Over to Chartrand. He shoots and just missed it wide. That puck was spinning on edge as Dan Chartrand took that shot. It's lifted into the zone. Colton in deep. And that one deflects off the back of the cage. Chartrand looking for Frescura, knocked down by Clouston, excuse me. Here's Colton with 1:19 to go in the opening period. Makima through neutral ice into the Prowlers zone. Derek Makima in the corner. Comes out with the puck. Still behind the Prowlers net to the near side corner. McGill Diaz fanned on a shot from the point. Devaney going the other way. Working on Colton. Devaney looking for Foley in the slot. That was cut off. Devaney with it behind the net. Fed it in front. No Prowlers able to get to that. 45 seconds to go in the first period as Ryder steps in. But the Rockers offsides as Nick McGill Diaz a little bit overzealous to get into the zone on that opportunity. 42.5 seconds to go in this first period. So the face-off outside of the Prowlers zone. And it comes over to McGill Diaz. He winds and fires it in. 35 seconds left to go in the opening frame. As Vartiainen shoulders a hit from Koash. Ends up behind the Prowlers net. And it looks like the Rockers were the team that couldn't touch it. It was either batted down with a hand or a high stick. Both teams playing, not wanting to touch it, but the whistle finally blows as the Rockers do put a touch on it. 20.2 seconds left to go in this first period. Merritt and Koash in the face-off circle. It's one back cleanly to Schumacher. Rims it in. Babin came out. The play got through him. Stuck in the corner. Now put on net. Cut off. And now Inger with a breakaway. 3 seconds left. To the backhand. Saved by Hoffland. And time expires in this first period. Oh, Wyatt Hoffland coming up with a huge save as the Prowlers almost gave up another late minute goal. And it's a thing that's happened to them more than a few times this season. But luckily for them, Wyatt Hofflin up to the challenge, and we head off the ice for the first intermission at 2-0 in favor of the Motor City Rockers. Shots on goal in that opening period, 16 for Motor City, 8 for Port Huron. And once again, the score, 2-0 in favor of the Motor City Rockers. New year, new gear. Get your updated look at the Port Huron Prowlers team store located on the west end of McMorran Arena. The store is open every home game all season long, featuring t-shirts, sweatshirts, including glitter crew necks, koozies, socks, and more. Rep your team in style with gear from the Prowlers team store. 2-0 as we hit the first intermission here at Big Boy Arena. Coming up on the intermission report, we'll have Joe Noonan with us to break down that first frame. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Will Wiggleman and Joe Noonan with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. First intermission underway, and the Prowlers trail the Motor City Rockers 2-0 on the strength of goals from Tommy Cardinal and Josh Colton. Shots on goal in that opening period, 16 for Motor City and 8 for the Prowlers in what hasn't been exactly the Prowlers' best period in quite a while.
No, it hasn't. We've been getting beat through the neutral zone a little bit too often, coming back towards our end. We'd like to see a little more sustained pressure, more shots at the net, a little more traffic in front of Babin.
And you saw in that first goal, Wyatt Hoffman just trying to extend the play, stretch the ice just a little bit as the Rockers were going for a change, but unfortunately for him, Tommy Cardinal was right there and ready for that puck.
Yeah, you know what? It looks bad, but better goalies than him have made worse mistakes than that, and I think he made up for it with a couple big saves in the period. As a goalie, if you screw up with the puck behind the net, everybody kind of looks at you like, what are you doing? Just give me the puck. And they're usually right. The simple play is usually the right play, but what I liked about what Hoff did afterwards was he got right back out behind the net and tried to make another play. You don't want to play scared. Just like a forward or a defenseman, when they screw up and the goalie has to bail them out, you want them to get back out on the ice and be assertive with the puck. You don't want to be playing scared.
Oh, Hoffman certainly did make some big saves later in that period, especially with 6 seconds left as Connor Inger came down on a breakaway. I think the save actually came with about 3 seconds left in the period, and that's a huge one going into the second. Still only down a pair, a lead you know you can come back from against this team, and especially because you've seen that story before this season with a late goal in a period against the Prowlers.
It's true. We talked about it last week. First minute, last minute, and the first shift right after a goal for or a goal against are big inflection points throughout a game. Kind of the time when you got to bear down and really make sure you're doing your job. For whatever reason, we've seemed to give up some chances at the end of periods. Sometimes it costs us, sometimes it hasn't. Hoff made a good save there, getting his 5-hole closed. It's a tough move when the player's coming down with speed and tries to open you up and tuck it 5-hole, but he got the leg shot and bailed the guys out on that one to get off the ice.
Well, the Prowlers will look to start a comeback as we are just a few minutes away from the second period. Joe, what's a key for the Prowlers offense to start to get going against Trevor Babin?
I think as we possess the puck more down in their zone, get the cycle going, we got to get some bodies in front of Babin. Like we saw in the second goal that Motor City scored, a goalie that can't see the puck is almost just guessing and hoping to make a save when the puck's shot at him. The more you can get in front of his eyes, the better.
The Prowlers will see what they can do as once again we get set for second period action right here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel, coming up in just a few minutes. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net, save, rebound, score!
Every goal,
Back to Jay, wrist shot, he scores!
every save,
Going the other way, Papandrea, saved by Hoffman, the rebound, another one!
every hit,
Good hip check!
every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskell, cutback, heading with another good shot, and then a left, oh boy!
game.
Marciano, the one-timer, he scores!
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
teams getting set at center ice for the second period face-off. Will Wiggleman with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. We're underway in the middle frame. Johnson feeds it up to Freeborn. And that puck quickly out of play into the benches area. So a quick whistle, just 11 seconds into this middle period. Prowlers looking to mount a comeback as they did last game at McMorran Place. They trailed 2-0 early in the second. Gino Mini still sitting in the penalty box, serving his misconduct penalty. That ended up being a 10-minute misconduct, which is why it didn't affect on-ice manpower. Josh Colton, who scored a power play goal, feeds it over to McGill Diaz. McGill Diaz skates up ice, backhands it in, and right into Wyatt Hoffland's glove. He'll hold on for our second whistle of the period, just 25 seconds into it. And trailing after the first period this season, the Prowlers are 7-8-0. So they certainly do possess the ability to come back. However, we'll see what they can mount here as they get set for a defensive zone face-off between Evan Foley and Tim Perks. And the referee just having a discussion there with Wyatt Hoffland. And now we're ready to go. It comes out in front. And a good save there by Hoffland. Comes out to Colton. Knocked down and a good save by Hoffland, sliding across the stone. Tommy Cardinal on the doorstep. Motor City coming out with some great opportunities to start this period. This time Prowlers win the faceoff, but take it off of Henning's stick and slides right to Hoffland. Will try it again. Prowlers just looking to get out of their zone here. Now Vartiainen is able to exit the zone, gives to Devaney, who flips it in. And right on Babin, who will cover up for a face-off. Handful of whistles already. We're just 49 seconds into period number 2. This time it's an offensive zone draw for the Prowlers. Puck still there. Devaney with a quick shot and a save by Babin. The rebound, and Devaney had another try. Babin kicked out the pad. Devaney back in. He gets it deep. It's rimmed all the way around towards Giuliano. Just deflects it out. Vartiainen up towards Schumacher. Got away from him. Dante Suffredini up to Perks. Tim Perks pulls up in the corner, put it right through the goal crease. Now White on the other side. Kick saved by Hoffland. And Conway just couldn't reach the rebound. He was all by himself on that back post. Vartiainen pulls up on White. His team changing, so he just gets it deep. Perks, head up, over to the near side, Conway. Kicked off of him and back into his own territory. Perks again. They're right at Austin Federley. Tim Perks with it. Had a steam. He shoots. Saved by Hoffland. Prowlers move the other way. Chartrand with Gagnon. Tried to feed it to him. Just too far ahead. Gagnon pulls it out of the corner. Off the boards, back to the point. Federley wrists it on. That was partially blocked by Koash. Ended up in the corner. Here's Scott Koash. Battle on the boards. Rimmed around over to the far side. Graham knocked down Clouston. Von Clouston's down in a heap. Meanwhile, puck comes on net. Prowlers still looking for it, and Babin with a couple of good saves. And the last one there on Dan Chartrand. Von Clausen is in a heap over in the far side corner as he was heading over there with Matt Graham. He just went down. As he and Graham were battling on the way to a loose puck. And the training staff comes out to tend to Von Clausen. 17-17 to go in this second period, and Clausen, under his own power, will head back to the Rockers bench. Maybe just a little bit of acting there from Von Clausen. Doesn't work for him. The referees don't buy it. We'll see how the Oscar committee decides. But first, we'll have an offensive zone faceoff for the Prowlers as Trevor Babin made a couple of outstanding saves before that whistle, including one on Dan Chartrand right at the crease. As Merritt's line comes out, Freeborn one touches it back to Johnson. He gets it deep. Freeborn there out in front. That one couldn't find a friendly stick. Inger and Schumacher chasing after it. Frank Schumacher with a good diving play. One-handed it all the way over to the other side. Freeborn couldn't get it out. Inger cut it off at the line. Here's Conway. To the point, McGill Diaz. Off the backboards. Hofflin keeps it below the goal line. Johnson over to the near side. Battle for in the corner. Comes up towards Conway. D, McGill Diaz. Wrists it on, deflected wide. Colton tried to get it off the bounce off the backboards. And a good play by Alex Johnson to prevent that. Icing called against the Prowlers. We are 3.5 minutes into period number 2. Prowlers still trailing by 2 to the Motor City Rockers. Merritt and Perks get set for this face-off to Wyatt Hofflin's right. It's one back by Tim Perks. Suffredini just kept it at the line. Worked back over to the far side. Jay looking for Freeborn. He was too far ahead of him. Thompson over to the far side. Suffredini down behind the net. Elias Thompson lost the handle. Johnson able to flip it up the boards. Jay keeps it going. Good hit by Freeborn. The puck comes out to center. Rockers back in. Everett Thompson had a man streaking towards the net. Johnson blocked the pass chance. To a side scrum behind the cage. Squirts out to the near side to Thompson. That's Everett Thompson with the puck. Up top to White. Winds and fires. Kick save from Hofflin. Suffredini took a hit from Jay, still has the puck. Suffredini tried to wrap it in front. That hit Schumacher. Now White from the point just goes off the far side boards. Johnson to center. Johnson into the zone. Rockers bench calling for offsides. Linesmen disagree, but it won't matter now as Motor City takes it out. Makima dumps it in. Hofflin gave it away to Makima. Out in front. Save. Puck's in there. Crease. And Hofflin dives on it and gets the glove on it to cover up. More tense moments for the Prowlers as Wyatt Hofflin almost gave away a second goal to the Motor City Rockers tonight. In other news, Gino Mini is back to the Prowlers bench with 15:03 to go in the second period as Mini has served his entire penalty. So the faceoff will come to Hofflin's left as Makima and Foley get set for it. One back cleanly by Makima. Righter's shot hit traffic on the way through. Looked like it hit Foley as he was just a bit slow to get up after that shot. Suicide scrum in the corner. Gaudette and Foley in there. Dustin Henning able to come out with the puck. Taken away by Gaudette. Good hit from Federley on Ryder. Rimmed around towards Devaney on the far side. He just pokes it to center. Henning winds and fires. That hit Colton, and then Henning is dumped by Gaudette. Clouston with a move around Federley. Austin Federley able to poke the puck off his stick. Both teams making changes with the puck deep in Prowler territory. Giuliano at the point, wrists it on. Blocked away by Hofflin. Pops all the way out to Devaney and now to center. Burks up towards Clouston. Now goes deep. 6 minutes gone in this second period. Prowlers still trailing by a pair as Williams threw a hit on Cardinal. This game getting physical between the last shift and now this one. Good checks being thrown on both sides. Here's Suffredini. Feeds it up. Giuliano, one touches it on for Cardinal. Tommy Cardinal trying to turn the corner. Saved by Hofflin on the shot from below the face-off dot. Graham took it off of Perk's stick. In with Chartrand, he gives it over there. Chartrand tried to put it on net. Went wide, and now Perks back the other way. Hassled by Frescura. Tim Perks gets into the zone. Now Perks all the way around. Up top to White. D to D. Suffredini winds and fires. Frescura got a stick on it. Now Chartrand up to Frescura. Here's Zach Frescura. He shoots. He just put it wide. He had a step on the defenseman there. But a shot off the target from Zach Frescura. Still figuring out the sights or the accuracy on his shot after so much time off. Chartrand off the steal. Saved by Babin. The rebound. They score! Sam Merritt crashing the crease. Beats Babin on the rebound, and the Prowlers are on the board. And of course, there was that controversial goal from Sam Merritt on Trevor Babin back on December the 30th. They said it wasn't a goal, but Sam Merritt and the Prowlers thought it was a goal, but that one, no doubt, Sam Merritt's goal. He gets the Prowlers on the board and cuts this lead in half. Merritt's 14th of the season. He extends his point streak to 8 games this year, or 8 games in a row. As that one deflects out of play. Babin seems to be okay as he got steamrolled right after that goal went in as Merritt was just flying in looking for the puck. A couple of bodies went down. But the Prowlers get on the board. Sam Merritt, the goal scorer, will take a timeout with 12:26 to go in the second period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Sam Merritt as the Prowlers within 1 as we get set to play with 12:26 to go in the second period here at Big Boy Arena. Will Wiggleman with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight as the Prowlers and the Rockers are meeting for the 11th time this year out of 16 total meetings. Right now the season series knotted up at 5 apiece. And the Rockers are looking to snap currently a 5-game losing skid overall, but also a 3-game losing streak against the Prowlers. Meanwhile, Port Huron, a 3-game winning streak both against Motor City and overall right now. Prowlers have won 5 of their last 6. So that's wristed in on Hofflin. And he will catch it in the basket and hold on. 12:18 to go in the second period. Defensive zone draw coming for the Prowlers. It's the Ryder line against the Sam Merritt line. Elias Thompson heading off the ice. Seems to be the only change. Derek Makima out there on right wing. Austin Federley giving his stick a few tugs. No harm, no foul as Freeborn heads up ice. Stopped up there by Clouston. Now here's Ryder. Drops it off to Makima. Put it in front, they score! A backdoor tap for Roman Gaudet. And the Rockers get it right back and restore the 2-goal lead with 12 minutes to go in this second period. And now a fight going on. It's Gaudet, the goal scorer. He's throwing punches at, looks like Alex Johnson. And now they go down to the ice. So Alex Johnson and Roman Gaudet will head to the penalty boxes. As Johnson and Gaudet getting in each other's faces, having some words, and the gloves came straight off after the Rockers were done celebrating that goal. And maybe that energizes the Prowlers just a little bit, as they got a goal, got one back, but then Roman Gaudet, again on the backdoor tap, was able to extend the lead again. It looks like we'll see what the penalties are. Likely 5 for fighting on either side. Roman Gaudet, he snaps a 4-game point drought with his 9th goal of the season. And 5 for fighting either way. As the Prowlers will have to come back from 2 goals once again. As Koash and Foley step in for the faceoff. Inger dumps it in. Hofflin rims it around towards Gagnon. Now Colton, D to McGill Diaz. Foley in hard on the forecheck. Give it back over to Colton. Long pass up to Koash. Tried to lift it in. Schumacher, hand pass over to Gagnon. That's legal in the defensive zone. So play continues. As Koash gives it over to Inger. Inger with a shot blocked on the way through. And that sends Devaney on his way. Looking for Foley. Foley couldn't get a shot on net. Gagnon collects it in the corner. Foley tried to center. It's stuck in McGill Diaz's skates. He's able to kick it over to the corner. Lifted back to Prowler territory, now Hofflin actually was the one who plays that. Now Minnie dumps it in as the Prowlers complete a change. 11 minutes to go, second period. Prowlers still down by 2. It was only a 1-goal game for about 30 seconds of game time. Perks up top, suffered Didi. That one wristed wide. It comes off the backboards. And once again, the net off its moorings. So we will have a whistle. 10:42 to go now in the second period. And those pegs not really holding up quite as well in tonight's game. As Graham and Perks get set to draw. Officially 31 seconds between Merritt's goal that brought the Prowlers within 1 and Gaudet's goal that made it a 2-goal lead for Motor City once again. Followed, of course, by the 5 for fighting for Gaudet and Alex Johnson. For sure with a sharp angle shot. Frascura looking for something in his season debut. Feeds it back to the point. Minnie, a quick shot. Puck's loose there. And Babin kicks out the leg to rob Dan Chartrand on the doorstep. Minnie slows up, gives it to Chartrand, waits for help, goes off the boards towards Graham. Outside shot, held on to by Babin. He'll get a whistle with 9:51 to go in the second period. Well, Roman Gaudette gets the goal right back for Motor City, and the Rockers have a 3-1 lead just past the halfway point of this second period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here in Fraser with 9:51 to go in the second period. And a 2-goal lead for the Motor City Rockers. We're looking to snap a 5-game losing skid. Still plenty of time for the Prowlers, though. Just about half the game left to go. As they finish up scooping up all the snow off the ice. Face-off coming to Babin's left after he fielded a shot from Matt Graham. That's Babin's 16th save of the night. On the other end, Wyatt Hoffland has 23 stops on 26 shots. Federley puts one on, and that one sticked into his glove by Babin. Just tipped it up with the stick, caught it in the glove, and holds on for a whistle. Cool, calm, and casual from Trevor Babin. To the point again, Federley backhands it deep. Poked further up the boards, now comes out to Ryder. Ryder has Makima with him. Ryder feeds it over to the trailer. Thompson, save, rebound, they score! And Makima had his stick down, and it wasn't lifted. He's able to tap it home from the crease, and the Rockers take a 4-1 lead. Puck's on net for Motor City, getting the job done right now. As nobody lifted Derek Makima's stick. And Hoffland's initial save, the rebound dropped right there on the top of the crease. And Makima with a nice easy tap in to extend the lead to 3.
Go ahead, Rich.
So the deficit grows for the Prowlers, largest of the game. They're looking to get it back. We're trying to work on the camera real quick. There we go. And Schumacher works up to Foley. There's Vartiainen into the zone, tried to wrist it on. It was blocked. Klauston off the glass and out. Goes all the way down. And Sam Williams collects. Stops up behind his own cage. Now up to Foley. Vartiainen one touches it towards Devaney. Now it comes into Rocker territory. 8.5 minutes to go in this second period. Prowlers will need a heck of a comeback here. Of course, 3 goals. Not the biggest lead in the world in the Fed, as Babin did not see that shot until he heard it hit the back glass from the point from Dustin Henning. Here's Inger dumping it in. Now Minnie. Leads it up to Frescura. Tried to put it on, it was blocked. Giuliano turns it the other way. Rink wide pass to Perks, who skates into it. Here's Tim Perks to the back door, they score again. It's Tommy Cardinal's second of the game, and it is a 5-1 Motor City lead. And since the Prowlers got themselves on the board, 3 quick goals from the Rockers. Port Huron on its heels for much of this second period. And Matt Graham has called timeout as the Prowlers need to regroup here. With 7:48 to go in the second period. Tommy Cardinal's second goal of the game makes it a 5-1 lead for Motor City. He's the 4th Rocker now with a multi-point effort in this game. Joining Roman Gaudet, Brad Reiter, and Derek Makama. Just not at all the period the Prowlers needed. Coming out of the locker room, trailing 2-0. And now here they are, trailing 5-1. The lead has been doubled by the Rockers, despite the Prowlers getting one back. So see what the message is from Matt Graham's club as they break the huddle and head to center. It's Graham, Chartrand, and Frescura, the forward line for the Prowlers. Perks centering Giuliano and Cardinal just after the goal for Motor City. Federley heads back into his own end, backhands it up the boards. Chartrand battling for it. Gets it out of the zone. McGill Diaz tried to put it right back in. Here's Chartrand. Backhands it right on Babin. And he'll cover up for a whistle with 7.5 minutes to go in the second period. So Motor City is riding high right now with a 4-goal lead, a 3-goal second period. And the Rockers lead on shots 14-11 in this period, 30-19 in the game. It's rimmed around. Everett Thompson sends it back towards McGill. Diaz kick save from Hoffman. Now Chartrand gets the red line. Couldn't get it deep as it was knocked down by Suffredini with the glove. And that draws the Prowlers off sides with 7:09 to go in the second. See if the Prowlers can get some energy going here with a face-off just outside of Motor City territory. Face-off one back by Koash. White missed everybody with that pass. Williams and Conway chasing after it, and they give the benefit of the doubt to Williams. Conway disagrees, but I think tie goes to the defensive player. They're thinking about letting Gaudet and Johnson out of the box, and they do. So Roman Gaudet and Alex Johnson get back to their respective benches. And for Gaudet, his team 2 goals after his goal and fight. I believe Gaudet has completed the Gordie Howe hat trick, goal, assist, and a fight. Here's Jay, looking for Merritt, got through him. Inger dances around Freeborn at center, poked off his stick by Williams, and Klauston sends a muffin towards the net. Freeborn the other way. Into the zone, cut off, and back to neutral ice. Klauston up the boards towards Koash, 6:20 to go. Second period as it's dumped all the way down, and this time Williams with a step or two on Jonathan Giuliano, no question. That one is an icing call. against the Motor City Rockers with 6:16 to go in the second period. Prowlers sending out the Foley line, looking for a spark here. Koash in there to draw against Evan Foley. That's quickly won back by Koash. Clouston smacks it all the way down the ice. We'll have another icing call, and the faceoff will go right back to where we started from as Johnson gets back to secure the icing. Prowlers on their heels in this period. Been really overrun by Motor City as Foley wins the faceoff but splits his defenseman at the point. Devaney off the boards into the zone. White and Vartiainen get there together. Comes to the point Federley. Off the boards, back down. White, long pass up towards Conway. Was at his waist when it got to him. Conway muscles off Federley, has Perks going to the net. Conway dangles around Federley, couldn't get the puck in front. Now Devaney. Over to Johnson. Hits the red line. Has Foley with him, just put the pass out of his reach. It's off the glass back to center. Johnson again. Deflected in by Devaney. Rockers put it right back to Prowler territory. 5:12 to go in this second period. Prowlers looking for a comeback here. And you'd have to think they at least need to get one or two before the end of this second to have a good feeling going into the third. Schumacher just kept it in for a moment. Now he puts it right back into the Rockers zone. Graham almost cleanly picked off that pass from Colton. Let's go Gaudette, able to force it over to the near side. Miguel Diaz couldn't get it through Graham. Played it over to the near side. Gagnon first on it. Cycles it down towards Chartrand. Comes to the point. Schumacher's blast was deflected to the corner off a Rocker's stick. Perks out to center into the Prowler zone. Here's Tim Perks. Pulls up in the corner. Tried to feed it in front towards Makima. That was cut off. Schumacher slowing things down behind his own net. Now he goes up to Freeborn. Liam Freeborn into the Rockers zone. Poked off his stick by McGill Diaz. Back to the point, Mini wrists it on, deflected and saved by Babin as he looked around for it, but he had it right in front of him. And we will take a timeout. 3:50 to go, second period. And the Prowlers in a 4-goal hole in Motor City. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal,
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
every save,
Going the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hoffman. The rebound. Another one.
every hit,
Good hip check.
every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cut pad, heading with another good shot. And then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Martiano, the one-timer, he scores!
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
Back here in Fraser, 3:50 to go, second period. Prowlers trailing the rival Rockers by 4. Port Huron just overrun in this period. Motor City taking advantage of all their opportunities. Many of these goals coming in tight on Wyatt Hoffman. Some tough backdoor plays, in tight rebound chances, and Motor City's making good on most of them. As Ryder looking to feed it up towards Everett Thompson. Tipped forward by Williams. It's all the way back to the Prowlers end. Williams and Makima chasing it down. Icing is called, and Makima didn't like that call. But we'll come back down to Rocker territory. 5-1 our score, 3:33 to go in the second period. Merritt and Makima get set for the face-off. One back, Jay looking for freeboard. That one wouldn't get all the way there. Here's Makima into the Prowlers zone. Couldn't wrist it on. Ryder looks out high. Colton over to McGill Diaz. Sharp angle try off the mask of Hofflin. Puck lay there, and Hofflin able to pit it against the net and get a whistle with 3:09 to go in the period. The Prowlers right now just look like they're surviving many of these defensive zone shifts. They haven't been able to survive them all, as Motor City has produced plenty of scoring chances and plenty of goals so far. Still some time though, we're still in the second period. Prowlers have scored 5 in a period before. It was a third period, and it was against the Columbus River Dragons. But they did get 5 power play goals in that game. They actually did end up with 6 third period goals in that one, but 5 of them came on the power play after a 5-minute major from Edgar Zozelinch to start the third period. Here's Alex Johnson, 3-on-2 for the Prowlers if they hurry. Pulls up in the zone, put it on, they score! Not sure if that hit Evan Foley in front or not, but either way, the Prowlers have a little bit of life with 2.5 to go in the second. Evan Foley was sliding by, and he starts the handshake line, so I think it's going to be Evan Foley's goal. As he was heading through the crease, that puck certainly did change directions on Babin. So I'm going to call it Evan Foley's 14th of the season, and he extends his point streak to 5 games. A quick icing called against the Prowlers, as Gino Mini put it down into Rocker territory off the face-off. So that's one back for the Prowlers. It's Evan Foley from Alex Johnson. As far as I know, we'll wait until it's official. Yes, that is the official wording, as Hofflin has to scoop that up with the glove right off the face-off. So Evan Foley from Alex Johnson at 17:30 of the second period. Gets the Prowlers back within 3, gives them a little bit of life. See if they can continue the momentum. Frischiera steps around White, chasing after the puck. Babin comes out to play it away. Flipped up the boards. Thompson dumps it in. Hofflin back around this side. Schumacher feeding it up towards Chartrand, got through him. It's all the way back to Suffredini, the former Prowler. Chartrand behind the net, tried to feed it out in front. Ian White cut it off. And now Mini back in his own zone. 90 seconds to go in this second period as Frischiera tried to one-touch it ahead, couldn't find a teammate. Mini again, up to Merritt, left it for Frischiera, dances into the zone, drops it off. Jay put it on, and steered aside by Babin. Suffredini gets it out to Gaudette. He dumps it in. Hofflin plays it away from Makima as we hit the final minute of play in this second period. Williams up to Heading. Now Clouston back up the boards. Williams just was able to keep Giuliano from going in by himself. Here's Giuliano, surrounded by a few Prowlers, gets an outside shot, missed everything. Colton just kept it in, 32 seconds left on the clock. Battle for on the near side. Cardinal played it with his hands, and it's touched by Perks, so the hand pass is called against Motor City. We'll have a face-off with 24 and a half seconds to go in this middle frame. Foley line heads out with the face-off just outside of Prowler territory. Foley and Perks line up for the draw. Foley wins it over to the boards. Vartiainen gets it out. Clouston puts it back to Prowler territory. Rimmed up the near side. Vartiainen digging away with a rocker. 5 seconds left in the period. Devaney just goes off the board. Giuliano kept it in. Johnson kept that one from getting to the net. And Alex Johnson just runs out the clock here, and that's going to do it for the second period of play here from Big Boy Arena. And the Prowlers' deficit has grown. It is a 5-2 game as we head to the locker rooms for the second intermission. Shots on goal in that period, 22 for the Prowlers. Or shots on goal in that period, 17 for Motor City, 14 for the Port Huron Prowlers. And overall for the game, 33 for Motor City and 22 for Port Huron. Well, secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game as they take on these Motor City Rockers on Saturday, January 21st, with puck drop at McMorran Place scheduled for 8:05 p.m. It's also Mitch's birthday, so come out and celebrate with your favorite mascot. Tickets are available online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by calling the box office at 810-985-6166. That's online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by phone at 810-985-6166. Prowlers have some work to do, and they'll talk about it during the second intermission. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Will Wiggleman and Joe Noonan back with you at Big Boy Arena in Fraser, Michigan, where the Port Huron Prowlers trail the Motor City Rockers 5-2 as we get set for the third period of play. And Joe, they got one back, but from then on, it was just not a banner period for the Prowlers.
Yeah, tough one to swallow. Middle period at an away rink. But the goal that they scored to bring them back within 3 was a big one. 3 is a lot easier than 4 to manage for a third period. And with the lineup that the guys have out there tonight, there's no reason they can't get 3.
And certainly not something the Prowlers are strangers to. They've scored 6 goals in a third period before this season. Back on December the 10th, that was against Columbus, although 5 of those goals were power play goals. And then they have scored 4 goals in a third period. Against these Rockers, they did it back on October the 14th. They've also scored 4 goals in a third period 3 other times, 2 of those coming against the Mississippi Seawolves. So not an impossible task for the Prowlers, but certainly a tough one when you consider who's in the other goal crease.
Yeah, it'll be tough to get that on Trevor Babin tonight, any night really, but it just starts with getting back to playing Prowlers hockey, playing with structure. Motor City is a team that likes to rely on kind of a run and gun style, and you saw that with some of the goals that they scored that period. So the best way to counteract that is not to try to outskate them up and down the ice, but just to play within our system and start making the small plays and start building on that. The goals will come.
You can really say that the run and gun style about all 3 of those goals coming off the rush. Just 2 of them were true backdoor tap-ins, and then another one, just a rebound off of a rush that landed in the crease that was tapped home by Derek Makama. So the Prowlers have some work to do as both teams get set to step out onto the ice. Of course, you mentioned getting that 1 goal back before the period expired. That was Evan Foley deflecting home a shot from Alex Johnson. You know, pucks on net, that's such a huge thing, and it's something the Prowlers might want to look into doing just a little bit more this period, trailing by 11 up on the shot board. They added 14 in that second period, but might really want to start turning up the heat as far as shots on goal.
Yeah, shot on goal. Best case scenario, it goes in. Second best case, there's a scramble in front for a rebound. Worst case scenario is you get an offensive zone rebound, which means that you get a line change or get the guys out there that you want, and you get to go to work in the offensive zone again.
We'll see what the Prowlers go with here. Looks like they still have Sam Merritt centering Dalton Jay and Liam Freeborn. So the centers in just on different lines, it seems, for most of this game. And with technically 11 forwards and 5 defensemen, although Austin Federley has spent most of, if not all of this game on defense. But thank you, Joe, for your second period analysis. And we also appreciate your work on the camera during tonight's action. Well, third period just seconds away on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel, as Brad Ryder and Sam Merritt draw into the face-off circle. And Ryder wins the face-off cleanly. We're underway in the final period of regulation. At this point, you know the Prowlers would absolutely love a trip to overtime. That would certainly be something they would take just to get a point out of a game like this. Of course, still have a bit of a hill to climb to get there. As here's Romain Gaudet. Chopped it deep. Johnson left it behind the cage. Federley cleans it up, rims it up towards Freeborn. Now Merritt, hard pass to Jay, looking for Johnson streaking up the left wing side. Alex Johnson first on the puck in front, and a good first save from Babin on Sam Merritt. Now Johnson in the slot, turns and fires. That one off the back glass. Jay cycles it down low. Schumacher just pokes it deep as the Prowlers begin a change. Here's Giuliano over towards Ian White, and White just sent it right out of play. So the Prowlers will get their first man advantage of the night as Ian White with a delay of game penalty. Not something you see too often from a guy like that, a former NHL veteran, Ian White. But the Prowlers will get their first chance on the man advantage, third in the FPHL at 21.3%. Rockers PK, eighth at 79.4%. And they send out the Foley unit as Federley walks, gives to Schumacher, back to Federley at the top. Wrists it on, caught the back glass, pops out in front, and Babin able to get a pad out as Foley tried to put it on the cage. Schumacher down low to Foley. Goes all the way across towards Vartiainen. That was partially disrupted. Now Devaney in front. And Babin got down to stop that one. Vartiainen's one-timer held onto by Trevor Babin. A few great opportunities for the Prowlers in the first 30 seconds of this power play, but Trevor Babin has come up strong on all of them. Comes to the boards. Federley as the Prowlers set up again. Over to Vartiainen, the one-timer. That was partially blocked by Clouston, and it went wide. Foley tried to force it to Devaney. That was cut off, and it's rimmed around all the way down to Port Huron ice. 1:10 left to go on the Prowler power play. Now 2 minutes into period 3. Dalton Jay fresh off the bench. Jay all the way around towards Foley. Now to Merritt. Down low, Jay. Foley again. Tried to go back down towards Jay. Colton able to chop it away from him. Schumacher kept it in. Reiter gives it over, and it's sent all the way down by Vaughn Clouston. 36 seconds left on the Prowler man advantage. 17:25 to go in the period. As Graham feeds it all the way over to Jay. Sam Merritt chasing after it. Second in the FPHL in power play goals, and he leads the Prowlers with 7 to Sam Merritt. Now Everett Thompson looking for a shorthanded chance. Got through. Freeborn Thompson from his knees back to his feet. And a good save from Hoffland shorthanded. As the Prowlers power play expires, we're back to 5-on-5. And Graham puts it into the zone. Gaudette just steamrolled Matt Graham. The arm comes up, and Dalton Jay is having a word with Roman Gaudette. Alex Johnson over there as well. And Gaudette just stepped up, but he may have taken a few too many steps as he was heading over towards Matt Graham. It's actually going to be an elbowing penalty against Roman Gaudette. And Von Clouston with some complaints for the referee. If you remember, he tried to go into the corner with Matt Graham last period, ended up in a heap on the ground. Of course, we thought that was a little bit of acting. I thought it might have been a charging penalty on Gaudette, but it is elbowing. The official call. Prowlers right back to the power play, 0 for 1 so far tonight. That comes just seconds after White left the penalty box. This PK starts better for Motor City as they're able to get an early clear. Federley up to Foley. Stops up into the zone, but Schumacher overskated it. And goes all the way back down towards Hoffland. Hoffland leaves it for Federley. Here's Austin Federley moving up ice. Drops it back, Vartiainen into the zone. Schumacher over to Federley, hopped over his stick. Prowlers have to regroup at center. Chopped back out. Schumacher just dumps it all the way around. Babin got a piece of it. McGill Diaz steps out, and Johnson got a glove on it. And they didn't call that a hand pass against the Prowlers. Now Colton chops it towards Makiba, and he finishes the job and gets it all the way down to Prowler ice, just past the midway point of this Prowler power play. 15:38 to go in the third period. Freeborn looking for Graham. Instead, came all the way to Babin. He tipped it away. Jay wrists it on, deflected. Save, rebound, and Freeborn just couldn't find the 4x6 on that bouncing puck. Sent all the way back down. Johnson over to Freeborn. One touch on for Merritt. Drops it off to Graham. Prowler set up, 22 seconds left on the man advantage. Graham looking to go all the way across. Bouncing puck corralled by Johnson at the point. Freeborn back to Johnson. Over to Jay, one-timer. Didn't get all of that one. Here's Jay again. Final seconds ticking off the power play as Johnson rips it. It's blocked. And now the Rockers might have numbers going the other way, but Alex Johnson did a good job to make sure that puck didn't get out quickly. Gaudette just takes a tumble as he was avoiding a hit from Alex Johnson. Now the Rockers coming 2-on-0. Kowash to Gaudette. He tipped it wide. Now White on the side of the goal. That one wouldn't go. A tough change for the Port Huron Prowlers. That one didn't, as Kowash, they didn't get burned there. But that could have been a really bad play for Port Huron. And now Suffredini takes a tumble. I think Wyatt Hoffman is saying he didn't touch him. And we'll see. Looks like now Hoffman is having a word with Suffredini. And Hoffman had his back turned. He was watching the play behind the net, and Suffredini just kind of ran into his hip. And I'm not... Now, Hoffman did absolutely make contact with Dante Suffredini, and Suffredini was not in the crease area, but I'm not sure that was intentional contact, but either way, it's a penalty against the Prowlers as Matt Graham gets the explanation. 14:05 to go in this third period. Prowlers PK has to come out after 2 failed power plays. Of course, you would have liked to score on those power plays if you were the Prowlers. Considering the score right now, considering where you are in the game. None of this is exactly a revolutionary take from me about that, and looks like we'll take a timeout before this power play begins for Motor City. 14:05 to go, third period, and the Prowlers still trail by 3. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated,
enterprising,
the most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Back here in Fraser, 14:05 to go, third period. And the Prowlers will now have to defend a penalty as Wyatt Hoffman has been given 2 minutes for interference. Shots on goal in this period, 6-1 in favor of the Prowlers, but they haven't been able to get one past Trevor Babin in this frame yet. Overall for the game, it's 34-28 for Motor City. Roman Gaudette feeds it all the way across towards Colton. Now Ryder over on the far side. Down low, Gaudette behind the net. Tried to feed it in front. Schumacher blocked it. Comes back to Gaudette again. Hopped away from him. Federley chases after it. Now Gaudette over to Ryder. Gaudette again. Those two play catch over on the far side. They get McGill Diaz involved, or at least they tried to. Chartrand took it away. Dan Chartrand trying to split the D. Taken down by McGill Diaz, and now Dan Chartrand will go into time waster mode. 3 Rockers came to him, and they dug out the puck fairly quickly. Here's Ryder as we're halfway through the penalty to Hofflin. The quick shot from Makima, steered to the corner by Hofflin. Comes out towards Makima, is able to get one on net. Hofflin kicked it away. Here's Makima again. Taken away by Graham, cleanly in the middle of the ice. And Matt Graham backhands it down after wasting a little more time. 35 seconds to go on the Rockers power play. As White feeds it up to Conway. Declan Conway up to Scott Coash, trying to turn the corner, sharp angle try, stopped by Hofflin. And now Minnie, as that puck popped out towards the middle of the ice. White now at the point, winds and fires, blocked by Graham on the way through. And sent all the way back down. Final seconds ticking off the clock as the Prowlers are able to kill off this penalty and get back to 5-on-5. So Motor City's power play now 1 for 2 on the night as Koash winds and fires. And a good save from Hofflin. Devaney looking for Vartiainen on the bounce pass. It was cut off. Henning into the zone. Dustin Henning looking for Devaney in the slot. Vartiainen able to keep the pressure on momentarily. Perks just sends it rink wide. Henning the first one on, wrists it on, and it's gloved and held by Trevor Babin. 11:28 to go in the third period. 4 shots on that power play for the Motor City Rockers, or 3 shots, excuse me, on that power play for the Rockers. No goals though. And now the Prowlers can turn back to offense and trying to tie this game. Federley put it on. Plenty of space for Babin to see that one, and he corrals it easily as the Rockers cleared the lane in front of the cage. One back by Motor City. Here's Clouston rimming it around towards Cardinal. Tommy Cardinal down to a knee. Devaney takes the puck. Here's Joe Devaney behind the net. Knocked off his stick. Perks trying to get it out of the zone. He does. Schumacher puts it back in. Clouston right back to center. Under 11 minutes to go, third period, as Giuliano turns it up ice. Looking for Perks. Chases it down. Pulls up in the corner. Perks with it again. Steps to the slot, goes over to Giuliano. Back out in front. Couldn't find a friendly stick. Now Devaney chops it to center. Rockers in the midst of a change as the puck came over near their bench. Typically a dangerous scenario. No too many men on the ice call, however, as play continues with Colton. Clouston off the boards. Missed his intended target. Perks able to steal it back for the Rockers. And Hofflin gloves it down. It's ready to play it. Williams had it taken away from him by Gaudette. Sam Williams over to Freeborn. Tied up on the boards. Johnson goes off the glass and out. McGill Diaz with a couple of Prowlers bearing down on him. Makes a pass over to Makima. He bounces it in on Hofflin, who will hold on for a whistle. 9:41 to go, third period time ticking away as the Prowlers still trail by 3. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here at Fraser, 9:41 to go, third period, as the Prowlers and the Rockers get to the back half of the final frame of regulation. Prowlers still searching for another goal to bring themselves at least within 2. It is still a 3-goal game as the faceoff will come into the Prowlers zone. Shots on goal in this period were 6-1 Prowlers at one point, but since that Motor City power play, it's now 8-6 Port Huron. Although Prowlers do have 2 of the last 3 shots on goal, and Elias Thompson and Matt Graham are renewing their acquaintances. Elias Thompson and Matt Graham in the face-off dot. Graham wins it over to the near side. Chartrand up ice, flips it in. Gagnon and Suffredini chase it down. Perks feeds it over to the far side. Thompson into the zone. Back over towards Perks, hopped over his stick. Sam Williams gets away from Elias Thompson. Thompson may have gotten away with a bit of a hook there, but it was only for half a second, and the Prowlers did get the puck out, so no harm, no foul. Perks plays it back to his defense, quickly worked up by Suffredini. Back into Rockers territory, under 9 to play, third period. Here is Dante Suffredini, dancing his way in. Suffredini put it in front, only found Chartrand. It's knocked down by White. Although that stick, they ruled that stick was below White's shoulders. I'm not so sure about that, but they play on. As here's Gagnon. Overskated the puck. Minnie goes out to Foley. Now Clouston over to the near side. Inger up towards Koash. Has Conway going to the net. Koash put it that direction. Couldn't find his intended target. Conway tried to put it in front. Conway looking for Koash on the back door. That was blocked away by Hofflin. Minnie took a stumble, able to get it over to Vartiainen. Larry Vartiainen. Off the boards and out. Icing waved off. They say it got a piece of Ian White on the way down. Prowlers able to continue a change. Here's Conway dropping it off for Inger. Tried the toe drag, poked off his stick, and they popped back towards the goal. Hofflin covers up with 7:45 to go. Prowlers switching up the lines here as the Merritt, Freeboard, and J line that we've seen so often for this game at least steps out. Perks out there centering, and he wins the draw back. Here's Dalton J though, starting a 2-on-1. J shoots, saved by Babin, and the rebound cleared away. Big one for Trevor Babin. One of the best opportunities for the Prowlers in this game that Babin was able to shut down. As Giuliano got a piece of that pass, so Clouston collects in his own end. Now Federley took it away at center. Couldn't link up with Freeborn. Cardinal into the zone. Pulls up. Goes around to the far side. Colton took a hit from Merritt. Jay tied up with his man, that's Perks. Merritt trying to dig the puck out. Set kicks out towards Makima, who's fresh off the bench. Schumacher looking for Freeborn. That hit a skate. Second chance opportunity. He's able to get it to Dalton J. Merritt. Power move. Saved by Babin. The rebound's in the slot. And the puck's still loose there. And Freeborn got knocked down. He's a bit slow to get up. Meanwhile, the Rockers the other way. Perks into the zone. That one deflected wide. Approaching 6 minutes to go, third period. As Johnson took a tumble, and it was pushed through the crease. Frescura looking for Johnson, just hopped over his stick. Time running out on the Prowlers here. Still trailing by 3. Frescura up to Chartrand, gives to Graham, and winds and fires. And Colton got a piece of that one with his stick. Now Frescura to Graham. Circles back, gains some speed. Plays it off a Rocker's stick into the zone. Chartrand just put it in front, nobody home. Johnson winds and fires right off his own man, Frescura. That puts the Rockers the other way. Hofflin plays it over to Chartrand on the near side. Up to Graham, looking for Johnson streaking up the left wing. Frescura is able to dump it in. 5 minutes to go in this third period. Coash into the Prowlers zone. Delayed penalty coming up against Port Huron. It will be a high sticking call. So the Prowlers will be shorthanded when we return, trailing by 3 with under 5 minutes to play in the third period. You are watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal,
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
every save,
Going the other way for Pandria. Saved by Hofflin. The rebound. Another one.
every hit,
Good hip check.
every
Fires and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins cut back, heading with another good shot. And then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Marciano, the one-timer, he scores!
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
We invite you to tune in to our next broadcast. That will be on Saturday, January 21st, when the Prowlers take on these Motor City Rockers again at McMorran Place. Puck drop is scheduled for 8:05 p.m., and the pregame show starts at 7:50. It's all right here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel, and special just this Saturday night, we will also be on EBW TV/Thumbcoast TV, and the game will be available live on the Thumbcoast TV website and app. You can get that app for iPhone, Android, or Roku. So that will be an exciting one to have EBW working with the Prowlers again. One night only, at least for this season. Zach Frescura, the one in the box for high sticking. And a good chance for the Rockers to just get some time off the clock as they try and end their 5-game losing streak. Here's Dustin heading up the wing, looking for Foley. That one wouldn't go. And now Henning again just claps it down to the near side corner. White up to Koash. He's got Koash with speed, pulls up as he enters the Prowlers zone, and he rims it all the way around. Schumacher gets there ahead of Inger. Schumacher only able to chop it as far as White. Johnson wrists it all the way down. Got a little bit of snow with it. Prowlers make a change. Halfway through the penalty to Frescura. 3:47 to go in this third period. It's dropped off to Ryder. Brad Ryder lifts it over to the far side corner. Graham first on it. Now Ryder over to Gaudet. To the point, Colton. Now McGill Diaz in front, and Gaudet just tipped it wide. Graham and Jay in a 2-on-2 rush. Johnson coming to join them. They get to Alex Johnson. Now Jay to the back door. And that one deflected on its way to Matt Graham. Good back check by the Rockers. And now they have a 3-on-2. Gaudet feeds it up. Now back door to McGill Diaz. And Jay got a stick on that shot. Johnson cuts off a pass. He goes off the glass and all the way down. Prowlers have killed the penalty. There's under 3 minutes to play in this third period. Hofflin over to Williams. Williams took a hit as he moved it to Vartiainen. Devaney kicks it up to his stick. Stymied at the line. White curls away. Now Suffredini. Poked out of the zone. 2:22 to go in this third period. Prowlers trailing 5-2. Suffredini all the way up towards Giuliano. And Hofflin had that one bounce over his stick. Giuliano was bearing down on him. Luckily, Wyatt Hofflin was able to clear it to the corner. Giuliano feeds it over to Perks. White winds and fires. That one sticks to Hofflin. He'll hold on. 1:56 to go in the third period. And if this score holds, it will snap a 5-game losing skid for the Rockers. And also snap the Prowlers' 5-game winning streak. It has been a tough one for the Prowlers tonight. As Foley and Makima get set for the draw. Schumacher to Foley, now Devaney. Evan Foley skates into it again, knocked down, still able to put it on net. And Babin with the easy save. Henning wristed it on, just went wide. Schumacher has it. His blast didn't get all the way to the net. Devaney tried to put it out in front. Blocked away. 90 seconds to go in this third period. Henning, wrist shot deflected, save by Babin. And he'll hold on. Looked like it got deflected, even bounced off the ice. But Trevor Babin got it with the glove. And for him, that is save number 35 on the evening. And we know Trevor Babin as a guy who can steal games for these Rockers, especially against the Port Huron Prowlers. I wouldn't say he's exactly stolen this game because the Rockers have outplayed the Prowlers for much of it. However, this could certainly be a closer score, if not for Trevor Babin. Schumacher up to Freeborn. Gets the red line. Drops it off to Schumacher. Couldn't feed the front of the net. Now a 2-on-1 developing the other way. Inger on the near side wing, but the shot from Koash left no rebound off of Wyatt Hofflin. 55.8 seconds to go in this third period. And since it looks like these scores will hold, Motor City Rockers once again snapping that 5-game losing skid. They can move to 15, 11, and 3, 46 points. That'll still leave them 4th in the Continental. But it will give them a little bit of life as they try to get back up to that 3rd spot. Meanwhile, for the Prowlers, they'll fall to 18, 12, and 3, still with 56 points, and still second in the Continental. But it does give the Carolina Thunderbirds an opportunity as Frescura, nice move into the zone, put it in front. And the Prowlers just couldn't get that one on goal. Perks into the zone. Tim Perks with a shot. Federley blocked it away. 31 seconds left in the third period. Federley has it in his feet. Plays it over towards Williams. Sam Williams to Sam Gagnon. Sidestep to hit from Clouston. And the big bang you heard was just Vaughn Clouston into the boards. Here he is. Clouston tried to dangle around Henning, and he just lifted it high over the net. Final 5 seconds, and Vaughn Clouston just dropped his gloves and went right after a Prowler. That's Sam Gagnon. I'm not sure what Sam Gagnon did to Vaughn Clouston ahead of that, except avoid his hit over here on the near side. I think Gagnon did throw a hit on Clouston over in the corner after Clouston took that shot. So Clouston is heading off the ice, and here's a little bit of the rough stuff that we're used to seeing between these two teams after a couple of fairly penalty-free games, well, relatively so. Last weekend and for most of tonight, besides the one fight between Johnson and Gaudette, there hasn't been all that much nastiness. So they'll figure this one out. Of course, these two teams have a day off tomorrow. I highly doubt the league would review something like that. But if they would want to, they do have a full day as Elias Thompson is barking at Matt Graham. And now they're going to tell Elias Thompson to get his behind over to the bench as he's just trying to taunt Matt Graham a little bit. So the victory for Motor City will give them the lead in this I-94 rivalry series. Thompson just still trying to get after Matt Graham. Just in front of the benches, they're still jawing at each other. And now Sam Williams also involved in that jawing. Each team's on their own side of the red line. And nothing more will come of this, it seems. 5.1 seconds to go in the third period. Thompson still with words for the Prowlers bench. He's being told emphatically by the referee to get on the bench. Face-off will be deep in Prowlers territory. We'll let you know as soon as we know exactly what the penalties are coming down from this one. I assume it's just Vaughn Clouston who's getting a penalty. He's up on the board for 5 minutes right now. It doesn't do the Prowlers all that much good. As time expires, and the Motor City Rockers take back the lead in the Battle of I-94 with a 5-2 victory here at Big Boy Arena tonight. Thompson and Graham still with words for each other. The Prowlers are just being directed off the ice. There were 5 minutes up on the board for Vaughn Clouston. Again, we'll let you know as soon as those penalties come down on the monitor here. And it looks like Prowlers will head to their dressing room. Nothing further as the few fans who came out to watch this game cheer on their Motor City Rockers after a big victory to snap the Rockers' 5-game losing skid. Before we get into the post-game show, And I'll be joined alongside me by Joe Noonan for the post-game show. Just one more reminder to tune in to Saturday night's game, whether on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel or on the EBW/Thumbcoast TV website, the app, or the Roku app. Be sure to tune into that game. That is an 8:05 start at McMorran Place. Well, Noons, as I bring you on, we see the penalties come down for Vaughn Clouston, a 5-minute major for fighting, and a game misconduct for an aggressor after just throwing punches at Sam Gagnon down in the corner with a few seconds left in the game.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd get out of this one without a little bit of a scrap at the end, probably. Usually when a game gets out of hand on the scoreboard, it usually gets out of hand on the ice as well. And Clouston obviously has a history with having played for the Prowlers in the past, and I don't think there's any love lost. Probably not the right guy to go after if you're a player with a bit of integrity. Gags isn't really a guy that goes looking for anything, and it's not like he's the biggest guy out there either, so probably a better guy to pick on than that.
Of course, I'm sure Clouston wasn't all too happy that Gagnon was able to sidestep what he was trying to line up, a big hit over on the near side boards in the Rockers zone just moments before that rush. But with the Prowlers' loss, as I mentioned, they fall to 18-12-3. They still sit second in the Continental Division, but miss out on an opportunity to add points over the Carolina Thunderbirds, and that opens the door for Carolina to, if they can go 2-0 in this weekend, and the Prowlers are unable to defeat the Rockers tomorrow, Carolina could move up to second place in the Continental Division standings.
They all count the same, games 1 through 56, and any of them in between in a mostly empty big boy arena, they all count for 3 points. So every night is important, and you got to come back on Saturday looking to get 3.
I'll take you back through this one. Tommy Cardinal and Josh Colton got the goals started for Motor City, and that gave the Rockers a 2-0 lead through one period of play, and Rockers looked like the better team for most of that period. In the second, Sam Merritt was able to get one back, but then really where the disaster came for the Prowlers, 3 goals in a span of 4 minutes and 12 seconds immediately following that Merritt goal, and that really took the wind out of the sails of the Prowlers looking for that comeback.
Yeah, and I think it starts with having scored right off the bat, less than a minute after Merritt's goal there, and you just can't get away with not having enough momentum, especially in a dead rink on the road on a Thursday night. Got to find pride in the little things and cheer each other on from the bench, and just didn't have the energy.
Well, Roman Gaudette was named the first star of the game tonight with a Gordie Howe hat trick, a goal, an assist, and a fight. Tommy Cardinal, the second star, with a pair of goals. Brad Reiter, the third star. He had 3 assists for the Motor City Rockers tonight. And no Prowlers able to pick up a multi-goal game in tonight's effort. Of course, the goals from Merritt and Foley, and the assists for Liam Freeborn, Dan Chartrand, Alex Johnson, and Joe Devaney. Of course, Johnson, the one that Roman Gaudette dropped the mitts with after Gaudette's goal in the second period, and that really gave this game a bit of nastiness, as you saw some physical shifts, a lot of hits coming right after that fight, and it kind of carried into that third period, and we'll see how it carries in to Saturday.
Yeah, I'd expect some fireworks on Saturday for sure. Both teams have a day off tomorrow to get healed up and ready to go.
Well, that's going to do it for us here from Big Boy Arena. For Joe Noonan, I'm Will Wiggleman. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight, and we will see you again on Saturday night at McMorran Place.